Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Berry, and I am a senior at George Mason University, double majoring in global affairs and Chinese Mandarin. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my journey as an 1882 Foundation intern working in the education program. Let's begin. Putting the facts back. So, how did this all start? Well, for one, I was tasked with adapting some of the lesson plans currently in the 1882 Foundation archives for use with elementary school students. Out of all the lesson plans that I went through, I chose four: Patsy Mink, Queen Liliuokalani, Corky Lee, and the Transcontinental Railroad. I also created an additional lesson plan that focused on Peking Opera Mask, which was inspired by a project that I did for the Chinese Cultural Center at my university. I rewrote each lesson plan and added activities and media that could be enjoyed by elementary school children. I enjoyed working on each of the lesson plans, but found that I was most inspired by the history of Corky Lee. For those of you who may not know, Corky Lee was a photographer and activist who spent his life using photographs to preserve the history of and advocate for the Asian American community. So, to do all of this, I read through the archive lessons and thought of ways to simplify the information without losing valuable information. I changed the language that was used to introduce the individuals in the history lessons. I created vocabulary lists for the concepts that were central to the lesson plans but required explanation for younger students. I restated or created objectives for the lessons. For example, why is the lesson important and what each student should gain from it. I researched and provided hyperlinks for videos and pictures that would further cement the importance of the lesson. Finally, and my favorite part, I developed crafts or worksheets that would help to reinforce the central ideas of each person and their importance in American history and the Asian American community in particular. So for Patsy Mink, we have the advocacy pamphlet. For Queen Liliuokalani, we have a feather cape. For Peking Opera Mask, we have Peking Opera Mask coloring sheets. And for Corky Lee, we have Polaroid and camera project. Now, when working on these lesson plans, I did find some challenges. And the biggest challenge was finding a resource to include in the lesson plans so that teachers can have access to as much information as possible. For example, when working on the Transcontinental Railroad history plan, there were no readily available video resources for kids that discuss the contributions of Asian Americans. This demonstrated to me the needs for literature, movies, etc., that focus on the history of Asian Americans. I was also worried that I would not do an effective job presenting the lives of these amazing people and the significance of their contributions to the world. I hope that the final products that I create capture the lives and purposes of Patsy Mink, Queen Liliuokalani, Corky Lee, and the importance of Asian Americans in the development of the Transcontinental Railroad. I think that the crafts and media will help students connect with a part of American history that they had not previously thought of. I also like the idea that the assigned craft projects are relatively simple and do not require teachers or parents to purchase expensive or rare items to complete them. Furthermore, many of the activities encourage children to think about the lives of others and the importance of advocating for causes that are important to them. Overall, I wish that there were more resources available to help with the creation of the lesson plans. I spent a lot of time searching for information regarding the historic Americans or events in the lesson plans with little reward for my efforts. However, I truly believe that the 1882 education program can be an answer to this problem. I would like to see the 1882 education program be widely more used. I would like for the name the 1882 education program to be as well known and widely utilized as McGraw Hill or Pearson. I would love to see the archives to become used by school systems throughout the United States as a reliable resource. I would also like to see them utilized by a community that I love dearly, homeschoolers. Growing up, I was homeschooled. My mom would work diligently to find lesson plans to ensure that we had a well rounded education. If the resources were not there or did not meet our standards, she would create lesson plans for me and my siblings. I think these lesson plans would benefit the homeschool community and would also meet the standards of parents who want to broaden their children's horizons. Putting the facts back, which is the title of this presentation, is really just putting back Asian American contributions back into American history. Asian American history is American history and must be included in our children's education so that they can see how valuable we all are to the past, present, and future of this country and of the world. Thank you.